WWE released the official WrestleMania 40 teaser trailer on Super Bowl Sunday, and it has the wrestling world talking. Why? Because it may be confirming what a lot of people thought could be the case after the WrestleMania 40 kickoff event last week in Las Vegas, and that is that we're going to get a tag team match at WrestleMania, and assumed to be night one, that we are going to be looking at the potential to get a tag team match between The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. So, wild to think that's where we are, but it does seem like in this teaser trailer, as you watch it, those are the four men that are highlighted. You've got Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins on one side. You've got The Rock and Roman Reigns on another. So WWE is pointing you in the exact direction that they want to point you in, to tell you that, hey, this may be what you're getting. And maybe we are going to have something where, if you think about the way they've teased this, think about the way The Rock teased this ever since he returned, talking about doing something that's never been done before. Triple H, they put this in part of the teaser trailer. Triple H saying they're going to take this thing to a new level. And so, are we going to get kind of, that situation where on night one, you're going to get the tag team match, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And then on night two, you're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I assume you're not going to have The Rock wrestle on night two, but we know if he doesn't, he's going to factor into the main event in some way, shape, or form, maybe depending on what happens in the tag team match on night one. And you're also assumedly going to have Seth Rollins defend the championship, the world title, against the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. So what I think is interesting about this is, if you are doing the tag team match, which, I mean, they've absolutely set up. Like, the story that was told on the stage in Las Vegas pointed you towards the tag team match. Like, there was no other kind of wiggle room there, especially when you saw Seth Rollins step up for Cody Rhodes after The Rock slapped him. The Rock and Roman Reigns walking out together. You've seen Seth's comments as well. He's made some comments, like in interviews and such, about how it felt gross that The Rock is coming back, sort of trying to assert his power as a TKO board member now, all those things. So it's there. The story is there, the way they've set it up. But what I do think is interesting is, Rollins has been injured. And we're certainly assuming now that he's going to be just fine and ready to go wrestling-wise, or they would not be pushing it this way if there was any doubt. Like, you would have to pretty much be 100% certain that you're going to have Seth Rollins for this match, or else, why would you do this? Like, this is a huge trailer that they put together. By the way, it's fantastic. Did a great job on this. And again, it only increases the hype that they built since that WrestleMania 40 kickoff event last week. But now, Rollins has been injured. And if you're putting him in a tag team match on night one, that helps protect him a little bit, to where he doesn't have to necessarily do a whole lot. And maybe that's where you get the interaction between Cody Rhodes and The Rock, which you have built up via the slap. But do you get Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes interacting on night one in the match? Because, they're going to face each other on night two. So do you want to save that kind of interaction for then? But I guess my question with this would be, what do you, I guess it's really about Rollins' status here is, if you're kind of trying to protect him a little bit with a tag team match, then, maybe that's just kind of what they're aiming towards, is to put him in a match where they can protect him a little bit because of the injury. They can also protect The Rock a little bit because maybe they don't, feel like The Rock is kind of now set for that one-on-one main event match. Although, let's call it what it is. That seemed to be the plan from the start, was that it was going to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. They've changed course, and now it's not going to be, unless we get The Rock inserting himself into that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes match, which I've kind of believe could be possible whenever he makes his return to SmackDown next week, because you've got the power struggle, which you guys know if you've seen the other videos I've done here on the channel. I've talked all about this power struggle between The Rock and Triple H, and how it's very clear that they are going in that direction now, based on what Triple H had to say on SmackDown this past week, using the phrases "know your role" and "it doesn't matter" and all this other stuff, right? Clearly taking aim at The Rock. So it's really fascinating to kind of see how they're getting to this tag team match, because there's a lot of ways you can sort of play out there. Because, again, do you really want to have Cody and Roman interacting a lot in that tag team match, knowing that you're doing the singles match the next night, and that is essentially the bigger match, right, for finishing Cody's story? Now, overall, because you've got The Rock and Roman Reigns teaming, that's going to feel like the bigger match, because it is something that's never been done before. So The Rock wasn't wrong there if this is the direction they're going in. But I'm more curious to see who's interacting with who in the tag team match? Is everyone kind of on, equal footing there? Does everyone kind of get the same amount of time? But again, because it is a tag match, you can protect, whether it's the Rollins injury, you can protect, kind of putting The Rock in the best spots you need to put him in to not have to have a 15-minute, singles match in a main event for the first time in over a decade. I don't care how much training you do. I mean, I'm sure The Rock would even say it's not easy to be able to go out and do that. So, yeah, so it is very interesting that the way that they are setting this up, unless there is something else that they have in mind here. And, we've kind of talked about all the different options here on the channel about what other things they could do, perhaps. And, at first I was like, look, maybe they're going to do the 2 singles matches, right? That was one of the earlier theories from people was, okay, you're going to do 2 singles matches, then you're going to unify the titles on night 2. They're not setting it up that way. Like, the way they push this trailer, it is side versus side here. Like, you have Cody Rhodes' side, you have Roman Reigns' side. Cody's side features Seth Rollins. In the trailer, it doesn't feature Triple H, but we know it kind of does based on the fact that Triple H is saying this is his main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. But then on the Roman Reigns side, you've got The Rock, right? And what is he going to do to maybe, again, change the plans a little bit of Triple H? So there's a lot of questions still coming out of this, although I find it hard to believe they're not going to do the tag match after doing the trailer. And so it almost feels like they are just pretty much confirming it here that they are going to do this. And look, it's like pro wrestling, it's pretty simple sometimes. Like when you see what you saw on the stage in Las Vegas with those 4 being the featured attractions, I know everyone's like, hey, and I agree, Seth kind of felt like he was off to the side until the end, where he does kind of step up there at the end and becomes a main part of the story at that point, because he did step up for Cody Rhodes. And that's just not something that, we probably ever would have expected, right? Based on the history between the two. So that adds another layer to the storyline. And so now I think it's, one of these situations where they look like they are going to be doing the tag team match on night 1. If it's not, I mean, it has to be the main event, right? And I know there's going to be some people that probably will not be thrilled with that because, that does take away the possible night 1 main event of a Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, or a Bayley versus Io Sky, or a Becky versus Rhea Ripley. That takes away a lot of your possibilities. But look, if you're just talking about it from a headliner standpoint, you have The Rock, you have to use The Rock. And if it's not going to be in the night 2 main event, which is going to be Cody versus Roman Reigns, then you got to use him on night 1. And maybe this is just again, kind of changing the story however they've done it along the way. This was the best option to satisfy all parties, was to have everybody in the ring together on night 1. Then everybody has their own stuff to do on night 2, which, like I said, we know The Rock's going to play a factor on night 2, even if he's not wrestling. Which I don't believe is going to happen. If he's wrestling on night 1, I don't think The Rock's wrestling on night 2 as well. I feel like that is probably not the case. But we'll see. There, again, are options that they have to work with. But, yeah, it does seem like WWE is pointing us in the direction of a tag team match. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. So let me know what you think, guys. After you watch the trailer, what you think about the trailer? What do you think about this potential tag team match? Do you think they're maybe that's not it. Maybe there's something else that they are hinting at that maybe we're just not seeing here with this trailer. But to me, it seemed like that was where they're headed with one of the WrestleMania 40 main events. So again, guys, appreciate you watching. Let me know what you thought about the WrestleMania 40 teaser trailer, and hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. New channel, just enjoy talking wrestling and love your feedback as always. So thanks again for watching, and we'll have more WrestleMania 40 content coming soon here at Wrestling Reaction.